Hi, I'm Nate, and this is Under the Radar, where we reveal off-camera observations of authentic athletes. Today, we'll look at the story of my former teammate, current Minnetonka senior, and Stanford commit, Sean Freeze. We'll talk a lot about Minnetonka, obviously, as we both ran together in the same team, although I was a JV Warrior and he was Sean Freeze. And we'll touch a little bit on his other sport in the off-season, which is swimming. Then we'll dive into his high school running career so far, including his senior cross-country season run, where he ran 14:22 in the 5K, and his quest for a national title at both NXN and Brooks. Enjoy. What would you like to say to the people who look up to you?
If I had fun, the results would come with it.
Focus on yourself and focus on the process, because your process is your process.
Running is life. Life is not just running.
Everyone has their own struggles at the end of the day that you don't really know about.
It's much easier to tackle it together instead of just being alone.
I'd be in my fuzz with Grace, or I'd be in my pack with Grace and Allie.
It's goofy that the two fastest kids in Minnesota, boy girl, don't run in the winter. Or as much in the winter.
Yeah, I mean, it just goes to show how sometimes it's good to take breaks and not be 100% committed to something the entire year around. That can have some benefits, but yeah.
Yeah. So after I interviewed Maddie, it was like, it just started then, but it just got just more and more and more after, you ran Augustana, you ran Griak, and everyone on your team, everyone on other teams were like walking up to me and like, when are you gonna interview Sean Freeze? And I'm like, okay, we gotta wait, right? Because he's gonna have a generational run after the season ends. So I'm like, we're gonna sit back, we're gonna wait, see what happens, and we're gonna wait after. So thanks for waiting. This is what you guys get. We got Sean Freeze here. How are you doing today?
I'm doing pretty good. How are you?
Good. This is New Year's Eve, or today's New Year's Day.
Yeah, Happy New Year's.
Happy New Year. How much sleep did you get last night?
I got 6 hours.
That's pretty good, actually.
Yeah,
more than I
solid.
did. Because I went to the ice dive in the morning that they have in Excelsior, so I got woken up by that, but it's 4 hours of sleep.
Brutal.
And then I'm leaving tomorrow for a trip, and Sean got back yesterday from a trip, so we kind of had to squeeze this one in. But I think we both feel pretty good, so let's get rolling here. So who's in your family?
I have a pretty big family. Mom and dad, my dad went to Notre Dame, my mom went to St. Mary's, they kind of met there. I'm the youngest of 5 children, so my oldest sister is a second year med school student at Creighton. My second oldest sister is a senior at the U of M. She's studying finance.
Oh, really? She goes to the U?
Yep. And then my brother is a sophomore at Georgia Tech. He's doing chemical engineering there. And then I have a twin sister, so she's with me at Minnetonka. But yeah.
Cool. So obviously, you had siblings that swam with you in the sport. Did you think that really pushed you growing up? Like, how did that dynamic work? Was it competitive? What was that like?
Yeah, I'm extremely competitive with my older siblings. So it was always a big push to try and follow them and try to get better than them, even though that never really happened for me in swimming. But that's something that definitely pushed me a lot, especially when I was younger, especially with my brother specifically. And that's, I think, a really positive, healthy competition that should exist. Obviously, you have to be careful with being super competitive, especially in a family environment.
And as a young kid too.
But I definitely think it was positive impact overall. And me and my brother is super close, so yeah, we enjoy going after one another, I guess.
So if you guys haven't watched the Sunday Shakeout one on Sean, talk a lot about swimming. He's exhausted that topic completely, pretty much. We're gonna not talk too much about swimming on here, but we'll just kind of touch on it a little bit. But on that one, you kind of mentioned how you're better at running than swimming.
Yep.
But you say you don't let that skill gap kind of change your mindset. Could you expand on that a little bit?
Yeah, I kind of approach everything in life, whether that be in sports or academics or literally anything, with kind of the mentality of trying to do like my utmost like best to be the best that I can at it. So that doesn't really go away in swimming. So I try to always, show up to practice each day, give it my all. I know that I'm not anywhere close to as talented as I am in swimming as I am at running.
So how do you juggle things like academics and rest and time with friends?
Mm-hmm. There's a lot of like things that I try to do to be kind of more productive in like school specifically. I'm usually able to get like the vast majority of my homework done in class. I think that just comes with like planning your day and like actually using a planner and not wasting time in school. If you're able to do that, then you have a lot of time after practice. If you get done with practice at like 6, then that's like 3 hours before it's 9 o'clock. Right. And that's obviously a lot of time to finish up homework, hang out with friends, eat dinner, do everything that you need to do.
How do you rest?
I honestly struggle with being okay with like not having something going on. Like for me, having like an entire morning or entire afternoon where I legitimately don't have any hangout scheduled with friends or a scheduled work shift or anything, that for me is kind of torture. Yeah. But I don't know. I could sleep and I think that's beneficial, but
yes.
Yeah.
Absolutely. Cool. What about the community, like swimming community? Because we know the running community is amazing. Yeah. So how does it, like, what are some similarities and differences between the two communities?
I'd say specifically like relating to Minnetonka, we've had such a successful swim program for so many years that really has created a really positive environment for all the swimmers, whether it be like the graduating seniors or just like the young people on the team or the young people like second graders on the club team. Like everybody knows that there's kind of a culture of excellence, and that kind of pushes everyone to work really hard and try to contribute to that. It's a super special community and a really close one too. And I think that's similar to running, how everyone is kind of working together to try to get everyone to be like as good as possible. And obviously I think that is something that's really unique to like both swimming and running, is that the communities are super supportive. I mean, you probably couldn't name very many like communities around sports that are more supportive or more like friendly to other athletes than like endurance sports in general.
Endurance community. I mean, we see it in Nordic, we see it in yeah. I mean, do you know why that would be?
I'm honestly not sure. I mean, it's funny too because everyone's obviously competing against everyone else.
Yeah.
Obviously there's still teams and everything, but yeah, everyone's competing against everyone else. And I think that people understand that everyone's kind of working towards the same thing, and that's kind of a shared interest,
right? Which
can bring people together, obviously. But yeah, it's really cool.
But also it's like, I think it's just like because endurance sports are hard, and like it's not like other sports where you can take time to rest. Like, it just sucks all the way through, and it's like I think there's an element of the suffering that really brings people together.
Yeah, everyone has those shared experiences. Yeah, and everyone knows what people are going through to some extent. So
yeah, back to running. When you ran state 8th grade, what'd you learn?
I learned, I think, first and foremost, like how special it is to compete with like the number one goal in your mind just being a team goal. That year we got 4th in state, and that was my first time ever like competing on that level of stage or anything. And it stuck with me how focused all of us on that team were at trying to, our goal was to podium essentially. And all of us were so focused on that. And even though we didn't podium, we came up a little bit short. It was still something that was super special for all of us, because it was the first time Rennie coached a team that qualified for state as a team. So it was something that was super special, and all of us were super happy to like be able to compete with one another and be able to like support one another. And that kind of set in my mind and reminded me, and I guess it cemented in my mind the importance of like focusing on team goals. And how much that can benefit like individual performances. But yeah, I mean, that was also like kind of building off of that. Like everyone was so focused on a team, and then Nick Gillis won state. Like it's crazy.
Yeah. So what was it like watching Nick win?
It just stuck with me, like how like kind he was to everyone as a competitor. I mean, obviously how well he performed and how well he ran that day, but yeah, just it stuck with me more like how he treated other people, how supportive he was to everyone on the team, and all that.
What was your first impression on our high school team? Because we both joined at the same time.
Yep. Yeah, I think our high school team has one of the most unique and fun environments of any team out there. Obviously, there's a lot of guys on the team, but it's not like too big where you don't know people on the team. Like I feel like I know at least a little bit about everyone on the team.
I agree.
So yeah, definitely super close, super special. Lots of fun team events, and I think like our team training camp up to Battle Lake, that helps kind of strengthen that. And yeah, I think, I don't know, every year the captains seem to do an amazing job at making everyone feel like they're a part of the team. And again, I think that starts at like kind of training camp and having like Rennie put together like volleyball teams and everything. So
it's so fun.
Yeah, it's a lot of little things that add up to make our team kind of close and understand one another, I guess. But yeah, it's definitely a great environment.
What's your favorite decathlon event at camp?
My favorite decathlon event is the swim and swim. Yeah. I love the swim and swim. That's my Olympics each year. So
yeah,
yeah.
Because you and Ryan would always duke it out.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, like those little events, like even though they're not like important at all, just those little like competitions where everyone's obviously not dialed in, obviously, but still trying to like compete and run fast and swim fast. It's just like, I don't know, it's such a special experience.
I mean, being able to talk to people, through my work, who've done amazing things in the sport with teams, they've often told me that like it's not always the wins or the trophies that they look back on. It's those stupid little moments.
Yeah, exactly.
What is the team culture like at Tonka?
Close, supportive, competitive, I guess. Obviously, like we're a big team. We're usually pretty good, pretty decent. So people are going to be competitive and going for those spots. But everyone at the end of the day is still on the same team, trying to get the team to be the best that it can be. So everyone's still supporting everyone. And I think people do a good job of understanding that, like, hey, at the end of the day, only 7 people are going to run at state.
So I think both of us joined, we were fairly introverted people. And I think we can say that it's changed for both of us over the past 2 years. So like, how have you kind of changed personality-wise and just character-wise as you've kind of grown into that leadership role on the team?
I used to be extremely introverted. I was probably one of the like shyest people in the world in like elementary and middle school. But I think that like being around super extrovert, there's a lot of extroverts.
Oh yeah.
So being around them helps a lot. Being like best friends with Charlie helps a lot, because he's like the most extroverted person I know. So definitely understanding that like sometimes you need to be more vocal and like reach out to more people. It's not like a bad thing to be an introvert, but sometimes you have to be more wanting to like talk to other people, I guess, and less like scared to do so, because obviously that's needed for things to happen.
How were you able to use your leadership kind of position to kind of bring the team together, especially like the JV runners who might not feel as because they're kind of racing in separate races and stuff?
Yeah, I think it's helped me to kind of, be more vocal at practice, set a better example for like, or just be better at setting the example at like what's expected at practice, what's expected at meets, and being able to like talk to everyone at the team in a better manner, to be able to build like better connections with them and everything, and get them to know me and me to know them. that's something that's important to kind of strengthen that team.
Yeah. So again, this is a lot that been covered a lot by other podcasters, but you know, after your junior year, you went through this kind of roller coaster of a postseason where you stayed second at state, missed NXN, but made it to Foot Locker Nationals. So like when you're kind of going through those emotional, like, would you say you're someone who is really like emotionally affected by like repeated failure and success, or do you kind of just take each one as a lesson and just kind of move on really quickly?
Yeah. I mean, I try my best to move on really quickly. Obviously, I was a little bit upset after my like NXR performance, but I still knew that like I was having overall I was having a really good junior cross country season. So I couldn't let that one performance kind of drag me down and knock me out of like believing in myself.
How long would you say you dwell on like a disappointing run before moving on?
I try to move on like basically as quickly as I can. Obviously, I'll kind of think over the race, think if there's anything that I need to address and need to change for the next one, or think if there's anything that I did wrong that I need to do better in the future. But apart from that, there's no point in thinking about how poor of a race you had, because that's not going to get you anywhere. That's not going to help you in practice, or you're thinking, oh shoot, how is this going to help me perform? Like, how is this going to help me, or what am I doing differently that's going to set me up for a better outcome in the next race when the previous race went so poorly? So just always thinking about what can be done to have a better race, but not thinking about like how bad the race was, I guess.
Yeah, that makes sense. Yeah, cool. So going into regionals that year, I think it was the first time you had done a meet without your team.
At Foot Locker, yeah.
Yeah, because you had Will shows.
Yeah, just Will.
Did it feel kind of weird being without Tonga? And
yeah, it definitely was a super interesting dynamic and a super interesting change. I was able to spend a lot of time with Will like that weekend, which was helpful. I mean, I went to like dinner with him and did pre-meet with him and everything. So it was nice to kind of still be like with someone and not be all alone and like desolate, I guess.
Yeah.
But yeah, it was an interesting change and something that like obviously takes a lot of getting used to. Because usually if you're a high school runner, you're going to be with your team every single meet. But yeah, going like to regionals or nationals by yourself without a team can be a little bit of a change that needs some getting used to. Luckily, I was able to do all right with that, but yeah, obviously it affects people differently. And I mean, you need to know that just because your like teammates aren't there, they're still supporting you, they're still rooting for you. So you can't just think that because you're all alone, you're literally all alone. Like people are still with you.
Exactly. Yeah. And then, you know, how the race, you know, after the race, you finally qualified for nationals. Like, what was that like? What was that emotion?
Yeah, I was so surprised that I had such a good performance, but yeah, it was kind of like shock initially. But yeah, it was really special and a really good memory. And yeah, it was awesome.
Awesome. So, well, how was the race overall?
Overall, it was good. I mean, it was a great experience. It was fun getting to know a lot of like the top distance runners in the country who I previously didn't know at all, and to race against like that kind of the caliber of the fields. And then it was awesome to have the performance that I did end up having.
So, and then coming into this track that year, knowing what happened at Hamlin with meet record, 8:57.
Yeah. Yep.
So knowing how you did there, how did you feel going into state track your junior year?
Going to state track, I was really positive about where I was in the season. Like even after Hamlin, like my races were going great. In sections, I was able to like comfortably qualify in both events and everything. And I chopped a good amount of time off in my mile or my 1600. So that was great to kind of have that good momentum going into track. And then I knew it was going to be a kind of a dogfight, depending, because I mean, Robert Maturo is such a big question mark that time of the year going into state with his injury and everything. But then obviously like Casey Poplar was running incredibly well. And yeah, it was a great, exciting period, I guess.
Yeah, for sure. So how did the state races go for you?
3,200 went pretty much as good as I could have asked for. I think it's kind of hard to remember, but I think I was just kind of sitting on the like first 4 laps or maybe even like 5 laps. And then kind of just picked it up from there and was able to drop the field, I was super happy that I was able to do that. And I knew it wouldn't be easy to do given the caliber of the field and everything.
Yeah.
Yeah, I was able to win the 3,200, so that was amazing. 1,600, I was going to push from basically the start, which is what I did. Then I ended up getting second in the 1,600, but obviously it was still a great race in my mind, just because, I mean, obviously the time wasn't really fast, but the conditions were quite sloppy.
It was
on the
rainy.
day. It was really rainy, really windy, so it was a wild environment. I think Casey won, and Casey's obviously a great guy. Really nice athlete. So yeah, nothing but respect for him. And I was happy with that performance and being able to come away with second in that field. So yeah.
Yeah. So I'm going in Nike, like NON that year, Nike Outdoor Nationals. It's your second trip to Nationals. So what did you kind of learn from going to Foot Locker, and how did you apply that knowledge to your second trip at Nationals?
Yeah, kind of just knowing that like, even though it's like a national level field, it's still running, so it's not that complicated or anything. You don't need to like freak out or anything or change anything in what you're doing. You just have to believe in yourself and try your best on the day. So kind of having that like experience at Foot Locker definitely helped me understand that like things aren't changing too much. It's just a different field. It's just a different like track. So yeah.
So you raced a 3K, right?
Yeah, I raced the 3K. I was in the second heat, so I didn't qualify for the fastest heat, which I was a little bit annoyed at.
Yeah.
Still, you kind of just have to take what you can get and then just try to do your best in that heat, which is what I did. I got second in the second heat, but it was for me, it was a really great race, and I kind of surprised myself at how well I was able to, even though I didn't win the heat, but I was surprised that I was able to come super close to winning the heat with kind of the type of race it was, because it went out really slow. Then I kind of started pushing like 3 laps to go, or maybe it was 2 laps, but yeah. I forget the name of the runner, but he came up around me, passed me. Then I was able to stick with him on the back stretch. He came around, coming around the bend, I was able to kind of go out wide and put up quite a bit of pressure on him. And it came down to kind of a photo finish, I guess. But yeah, it was a great race. That's probably the closest race I've ever ran in my life.
I think so too. I don't think I've ever seen you lean before until I watched your 3K. That was super fun for me. It was great being able to like just hear like the crowd like coming to the finish. That's awesome.
Obviously, it would have been such a better memory if I would have won, but it was still super cool, and like it kind of brings a smile back. But yeah.
What about just like overall junior track season, like or even junior cross country? Like, I know you mentioned you were a little disappointed overall with the season, but were you able to find some satisfaction in how you did?
Yeah. I mean, obviously I didn't have like quite as flashy as a season, I guess, is what I had in cross country my junior year. I was definitely like still having pretty solid performances and pretty consistent results. I like won most of my races. There are a couple that I lost, but you can't be like too caught up in that, and you have to kind of just look at it as like, hey, you ran great meets most of the year, and I mean, you were consistent. You gave it your all every day in practice, even if you didn't have like the end result that you wanted. You still you still put in the effort, you still worked really hard in practice, and that's not going to like, just because you didn't have the result that you were hoping for right then, that doesn't mean it's not going to come in the future.
Exactly.
So, yeah.
I mean, Sean, I've seen you practice for 2 years. Like, you're someone who gives it all they have, whether it's practice or race. So it's like, once you're at that point when you know like what you've controlled your controllables, it's like you can't really ask for any more, because that's just how it ended up, right? Because you can't really control how Robert does or how Micah does. Or
you can only control what you do. So
yeah. So coming out of that season, like, did you feel like you could become, more like a national contender at Brooks or Foot Locker, Brooks, whatever?
Yeah, I definitely knew it was possible. And I think like in general, going from that season, I was really looking forward to like a good, like super long summer training block, and kind of building up mileage a little bit. So I knew that I definitely could be in that position in the fall. I was looking forward to kind of just working hard at getting into that position, and just obviously like trying to set myself up the best I could for a really good fall in like November and December. So
right, because that's Coach Rennie's always the same. Train for November.
Yep, exactly.
I think you should update a train for December, because we got NXN qualifiers now, but train for January when we got Worlds at Southworth. But coming into Augustana, what were we kind of expecting out of that?
So I knew the course was super fast. Obviously Juan Gonzalez ran like 14:30 or something on it the year previous, so I knew that anything was possible on that day. And I knew too that it was going to be a good competitive field with Micah Peters, who I had already raced at St. Olaf, and Invite would be there, so I knew he would most likely be able to give me a run for my money. Then I was looking forward to just running a really fast time on a really fast course. Obviously, no one really knows if it's a full 5K or not, but I'll take it. I'll take the 14:22 or whatever. It was a great experience, and it was a lot of fun, especially because, I mean, usually this is the first year that we did the Augustana meet instead of like the Nike Cross preview meet. So it was really special to be able to have the meet and then go to the hotel afterwards, because it allowed for a few more like shenanigans.
You had
general fun team environment, all those things. But
because it's typically hotel then race and go home. Except for NXN. So I mean, like that race 14:22, like whether it's full 5K or not, like that's 4 state records that went down that race. I mean, it's like the 2012 800 final where it was David Rudisha pulls everybody and everyone gets like a national record and PR and whatnot, and that just it was just crazy to see.
It was a wild experience, and it was great to be in that field, and to run with those guys. It was really special.
So coming off of that, it's like everyone kind of sees you as this guy that just ran 14:22 at this random meet in September, August. I don't know what month it was, but do you feel like now that your name begins to be thrown around on all these Let's Run message boards and like Diestat, and your name's kind of popping up everywhere and people know who you are, do you feel like it gives you any pressure or?
Maybe a little bit, but like at the end of the day, the rankings don't mean anything at all. It's whatever happens. Like, I mean, I'm kind of jumping ahead of the storyboard, but like I was looking at when they posted the like final cross country rankings, the 2 boys from like Niwot that finished 5th and 6th at NXN, like one of them wasn't even ranked at all. And then he went on to place 5th or 6th at Nationals. So just goes to show you that they don't really mean anything. So there's no need to put pressure on yourself and say, I have to perform at that level. Obviously, it's a good thing to shoot for, and it can inspire a lot of confidence in you too. But there's no need to let it make you get worried or get a little nervous about like having to defend that or anything, because it doesn't mean anything.
I mean, there's like two approaches you could have with rankings that I've heard. Like your approach is just to kind of like they say, it's just a suggestion. It's not like an actual thing you should be worried about. Well, the other approach is like with, what is that? I was talking to Alyssa Ledman.
Yeah.
She was like, you know, they're encouraging because to see your name out there is like, oh.
Yeah, you can definitely let it like inspire confidence in you. You just don't want it to like make you be like worried about having to like, it shouldn't be something that makes you be worried about like letting someone down.
Right, you're not letting, it's high school running.
Yeah,
It's
exactly.
Come on now. Okay. Talk a little bit about Rennie, like how has he supported you?
I mean, Rennie's coached a lot of great runners, so he kind of knows what like we're going through as athletes and as like students at Minnetonka. So he understands too, like what works for some people might not work for other people. So he's really good at kind of customizing things. And also just like, there's a lot of coaches that, especially like, there's a lot of high school coaches that exist that like aren't willing to like go the extra mile to make like special things happen for the team, and Rennie's definitely not one of those coaches.
No, yeah.
I'll be forever grateful for the impact that he's had on my running career, and the effort that he's put in to make a lot of special things happen throughout my 4 years. So, yeah.
No, one thing I liked about Rennie a lot was like he's a very holistic supporting coach, whereas like he cares about the whole person, right? Just the athlete, like you're mentioning school and stuff. Yeah, and just like getting to know each person at a deeper level beyond the sport, which is cool. I mean,
he's definitely someone that understands that like running's not the end all be all. And I think that's a really positive characteristic to have in a coach, somebody that's not like super focused like on the one thing, and someone that understands like that there's so much more going on.
There's so much more in life than running. Yeah. And he's always been by my side when I'm doing the sports media stuff. It's like he's always just encouraging me, and it's cool because like he doesn't have to do that. Like it doesn't benefit him to be, you know, to holistically support someone, but he does it anyway. And that's such a selfless thing to do as a coach that I really admire from him.
Yeah, exactly.
You know, it's being known across the state is kind of this more fun part too. Like Maple Grove selfie at sections conference, TikToks, just the fun, just people knowing who you are. Like, what does it kind of mean to you to kind of have the greater Minnesota community behind you as opposed to just Fargo?
That was, it was really special to kind of have like people from all over Minnesota like reach out to me and just like say that they'll be like supporting me, whether that be like at the Salvador Worth watch party for NXN and U20s and stuff. So yeah, it's really special to be able to like represent such a special community and such a supportive community, and it's something that I'm really grateful for again.
Awesome. So how was state this year?
State was awesome. That was a really fun meet. State's obviously something that I put a lot of focus into, just because, I mean, it's the high school level, so the state meet is usually the biggest meet of the year for most high school athletes, obviously. And yeah, it was really special. Going into it, I wanted to kind of just push from the gun on run a fast time and get some confidence and not let it come down to like a dramatic finish.
A lean like at nationals.
Exactly. So yeah, I was able to execute really well on that. Was able to run a really fast time on that course, which is extra special just because Les Bolstad might be going away. Obviously it's not like 100% sure, but it was cool to be able to maybe be like the last stand. Yeah. So yeah, it was awesome.
Is that something that you really value, like running fast times, or do you just kind of just like, oh, it's cool that I ran this fast time, but that's not really the focus?
Yeah, it's not the focus. It's just, I think it kind of went along with like what the plan was on that day, which was just to like secure the win.
What teammates in particular really supported you going into your postseason run, knowing what kind of pressure that you'd be feeling?
Yeah. Charlie's always like been by my side, like since we met each other in like 7th grade. He's been super supportive and has always kind of been there, a great friend, and understands a lot about what I'm going through. And then also like Ben Krause, your brother,
Zach.
Yeah.
Brother.
Shout out Zach.
Shout out Zach.
Just everyone really. Everyone's been super supportive, and like just seeing like their text messages before the postseason meets, like seeing that they were gonna watch or were gonna be rooting for me is super special and super beneficial.
Yeah, it's funny. It's totally off topic, but it's funny when Zach told me you guys were sharing the headphones.
Yeah, Silver Springs. Shout out Silver Springs, Fleetwood Mac. Yeah.
When I drive places with Zach now, he just has like Silver Springs going on.
It's a great song.
His music system's
I'm really glad I was able to get him hooked on that song, because he was initially a little bit pessimistic about it, but yeah.
Yeah, and now it's whenever he's on aux when we're driving, it's just like it's good stuff. I'm not bashing it. It's great. It's a great great genre. Something I got to listen to more. Golden Ticket. He was an interesting one. Because Micah, when he was on his pod, he was on the Sunday Shakeout, he mentioned the golden ticket and getting it, and how it was kind of both a blessing and a curse for him. Do you think getting the golden ticket is a blessing, or is it also there's a curse to it as well?
Yeah, for me, it was definitely a blessing. Kenosha is a great city and all, but I didn't really want to travel out there over Thanksgiving break when I wanted to be with my family. I wanted to be at home and be able to just spend a lot of time with them, especially because it's also just 1 week away from NXN then.
Yeah.
So, I was very happy to get that. I'm very thankful for that. And it also helped me just training wise, be able to focus more on NXN and not have to have that meet right before, which is beneficial to recovery wise, and also just getting more solid race specific workouts in.
What were your expectations?
Going into it, I really wasn't sure what to expect out of myself, just because obviously the region's so competitive and so many talented runners. So I knew that Grady Len would be a huge threat. I knew Quentin Nauman could be. Obviously, he was a little bit more of a question mark, but obviously going sub 4 in the mile, you're going to be a decent distance runner, no matter the distance.
And how'd it go for you?
It went really well. I was able to, going into it, Rennie kind of just wanted me to, go out there, sit the first mile, then attack from there, and kind of have one long extended move that would hopefully just kind of break the field and let me break away and win. Which is what happened. I was super blessed to be able to be in that position. And it was great being able to win in such a talented field. And it's something that I'll forever remember.
So what was it like just knowing you qualified? I mean, obviously you knew, but emotions?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I was super happy, especially because, the year before I had for me, a disappointing NXR performance. So I was super happy to be able to kind of redo that, I guess, and it kind of showed that I could perform well on that course. I was super happy. It was super special.
Cool. Yeah. But going into nationals, this is your first one as a senior. Mm-hmm. Did you think that was a disadvantage? And if so, how did you kind of handle that, knowing that other people had gone there before?
Yeah. At the end of the day, you can watch obviously you can watch the previous race videos online and see kind of how the course looks, how sloppy the conditions can be. At the end of the day, the conditions on that day are going to be what the conditions are on that day, and it's never going to be the exact same. Just kind of going out there, doing the pre-race shakeout the day before kind of helps you get into basically the same boat as everyone else.
Yeah.
And just kind of everyone knows that cross country course, it's a hard course. There's lots of rolling hills and everything. The ground's going to be super soft, so nothing too crazy or fancy, but it's cross country, so yeah.
Yeah. One thing that I found very interesting on the Sunday Shakeouts episode is you kind of mentioned that unlike a lot of like the stereotypical sports person, like you don't have the win at all costs mentality, where it's like you kind of have not like self-doubt, but you come and do races more humble than I think more people do. You're more open to learning rather than just like win or die. And I kind of wrote down like embracing the unconfidence and unpredictability. Like, what does that mean to you?
Yeah, I mean, you can't, like, it's fine if you're like nervous, or it's fine if you doubt yourself. You don't want to let it like affect you too much. But it's fine to understand that like, you're racing against great people. You're not always going to be able to win every race. And kind of just like having that understanding can kind of make you a little bit less nervous, which can be really beneficial. But I mean, at the same time, you want to be confident. You need to know that you're going to run as good of a race as you can, and that you're going to give it your all. And that's all you can do at the end of the day. So, yeah.
Cool. What were your expectations for NXN and how did they plan out?
Yeah, I wanted to just compete, and go for the win. That's kind of what I did. Like kind of strategy wise, I was gonna try and open it up kind of at the halfway mark going up the hill, which is what I did, and try and string it out from there, which obviously didn't go perfectly. But I mean, going back, you got to just be confident in what your plan is and what you're trying to do, which for me was to go out there, string it out halfway through, and then try to run away and win. But that didn't work out. I got 7th. It was still a great race for me, and I'm happy that I was able to execute my plan, even though it didn't end up working. But yeah, you have to be happy with what you gave, and knowing that like you gave it your all and everything.
I mean, you did. Like, confidence is an understatement, leading the race for a third of the race. But when you're kind of like, when people start to kind of come up and kind of pass you, how do you kind of mentally stay in it, knowing that you're not going to, place first? Yeah.
For me, it's always just kind of like I don't care if I'm going to get like dead last in the race. I'm still gonna haul and try to just go and run as fast as I can. So seeing people go by obviously is like, can be a little bit like sad, I guess, but it's not going to change the way I'm running, just because I'll always give it my all. So yeah,
I think the Prefontaine mindset.
I guess, yeah.
And I also found out that you and the Webzetta team were kind of, you weren't always together, but you guys rode the same bus together. Like, how do they support you?
Yeah, it was great to be able to be there with them. Yeah, it's super special how, like, I guess it's again kind of just Minnesota. Like, all of us are from Minnesota, even though we're from different cities and kind of like rival schools. But yeah, it's really special to be in that kind of like supportive environment, I guess.
Yeah. What about after the race? Did you get to see in the professional races at all, or no?
Yeah, we did stick around to watch like the I think it was the 2K that they did for the relay.
Yeah.
And then also like the men's 10K. So yeah, it was great to see kind of that high caliber of athletes and see them racing on the same. Obviously, it's a slightly different course, but like basically the same course that we did, just different distances. And yeah, it was crazy to see how good and how fast all of them are, especially like seeing like Ethan Strand just like sprint at the end of the day.
Yeah,
it's wild to see someone run that fast on a cross country course. Also seeing like Matt Wilkinson, obviously, shout out Minnetonka alums.
Yeah,
he ran pretty well. So yeah, it was really special. And Titus.
Yeah,
so it was really special to see those guys run, especially like Titus and Matt, because obviously I know them. Yeah.
Yeah, it's insane. Did you get to see Avery, Sal, and Nora in their races?
Unfortunately, no. We went back after the professional 10K, so we didn't stay for the U20 stuff. But yeah, it was just so crazy to see so many people that I knew run so well, and that was awesome. Yeah,
That was one of the best days of cross country. Just like seeing everybody just like crush it.
Yeah, it's awesome.
It's awesome, especially for Minnesotan, and not just speaking for myself, but for the entire just track community, and just came down to support. It was kind of cool how everyone was kind of in one thing, because feels like sometimes like there's different levels to the sport. And I think really it's just
a great structure. I think. I mean, obviously maybe like some of the professionals disagree just because of kind of like what the course condition was when they raced, but it was great, like being in the first race.
It
was awesome.
Races.
Yeah, it was super special. It's so great to see how well all of the Minnesota athletes ran.
Across the board, from you and obviously national champions up to U20 world calls, just 3 U of M people coming. It's just nuts.
Yeah, it's wild.
It's just crazy to watch. So then coming into Brooks, now you weren't with your team and you weren't with like other Minnesotans, but you did still have kind of a team dynamic with the Midwest guys. How was that experience, just having that team camaraderie?
Yeah, it's super special because obviously like before those national meets, you don't really know those guys, but you have to remember that the other guys don't really know any of the other guys too. So everyone's really open to like getting to meet people and getting to know people pretty well. So it's super special to be able to kind of forge those friendships, even if you don't even like. Obviously, this doesn't happen much because everyone there is so talented and is going to probably see each other again in college races and meets. But even if you don't see any of those people ever again, it's cool to like know them. But yeah,
of course. How'd Brooke go?
It went really well. I had kind of like a slightly different strategy going into it. I wanted to more so just compete, stay in that pack, and then if I was able to kind of push around the 2 mile mark. And the way the race panned out, it panned out really nicely for me because it didn't go out too wild the first like mile or 2 miles, but it was definitely still not a jogging pace.
No, it was good.
So yeah, I was able to kind of just stay in that pack and stay in that front pack. I didn't end up kind of needing to push at the 2 mile, I guess, because Marcello had broken ahead of everyone. And that kind of led to Jackson kind of moving up on my side literally right at the 2 mile mark when I was about to like move to kind of close that gap. Jackson did that for me. So I just went right behind him and let him do the work there. But it was really special to be kind of in contention for the vast majority of the race until really like the top of the hill not until like the top of the hill and the downhill they didn't break away from me. So it was cool to be in that position and kind of feel that energy. And again, just like I never really doubted that I was going to be able to stick with them for the entirety of the race. And even when they did pull ahead, it wasn't like oh shoot, what's even the point of like running anymore? For me, it was still like, oh my gosh, I'm in like 3rd or 4th place right now. So yeah, it was wild. And it was great to be able to race against those guys. It was a super special environment and a super special experience.
I mean, NXN, Brooks, boys, girls, 4 awesome races. Like this wasn't a situation where we saw one person just take it out and just all 4 of the races were just so much fun to watch. Like there's always the drama at the end of each race with the hills, and then Jackson Spencer just and Marcello just the lean, and of course Natasha Dudek just beasting like. And then watching NXN, watching Jalen Williams just go for Brooke and the terrace is just so much fun to watch.
Yeah, it's wild.
Yeah,
wild races across the board, really.
Everyone's just so fit and so talented now.
And such deep fields too, such great depth. But yeah, it's wild.
Yeah, it's incredible. How was just throughout your entire postseason run the support from home?
Yeah, it was great. All of like my teammates and everything were talking to me at school and everything. And that really inspired a lot of confidence in me to see the confidence that they had. It inspired a lot of confidence in me to see the confidence that they had for me.
Yeah.
So yeah, it was really special. Again, just getting those like text messages, those go a long way. But then also like my family, most of them came out to both NXN and Brooks. So
That's
that
like
was
your dad on the Brooks. Yeah. On the broadcast.
It was really special. And it was great to have the support from both like my teammates, my friends, my coaches, my family, even like my grandparents came out to some of the.
That's awesome.
So it was awesome. Yeah, something I won't forget.
Who was the coolest person you met throughout your postseason run?
I'm not sure. We'll go with I roomed with Quentin Alman at NXN, so I got to know him pretty well. We kind of bonded a little bit over a Family Guy. So yeah, it was great to get to know him. He's a really chill guy, and obviously a great athlete and a great competitor. Also super like supportive athlete and competitor.
So college, why engineering?
I've always loved science and math. I've always been really good at it. And I just think that it's a super good field to go into, I guess. But yeah, it's what my brother's doing chemical engineering. I kind of want to do mechanical engineering, but I don't really know that I want to do mechanical engineering. I'm just kind of basing that off. I think it's like the most broad engineering field. So you can kind of go into a lot of different areas from that. But I know I want to do something engineering just because of, because of the way that my course load has gone at the high school. So, yeah.
And then how are you going to plan to balance your time?
Yeah. I guess just continuing to try and approach everything, try to be efficient, try to block time and everything, use a planner, all the wonderful tips and tricks that the teachers give you that sometimes don't seem important, but eventually become important, I guess. But yeah, it'll be an interesting challenge, but I don't know. Stanford and everything obviously has a lot of resources, so that's really helpful. Then, yeah, I don't know. You just gotta do your best, I guess.
Yeah, you won't get it perfect the first time, but it's just like cross country. You could always get another race.
Yeah, exactly.
Just thinking now, that you're going to be a senior and graduate from Tonka, like, what legacy do you want to leave behind?
Yeah, I guess I just want to like be remembered as somebody that was super like kind and supportive to all my teammates. Obviously, like I have all the random accolades, but at the end of the day, what's more important than that is just how you treat other people. So I want to be remembered as somebody that treats someone really positively and was really supportive to everyone. But yeah.
Cool. And what do you think makes Tonka so special?
I think what makes Tonka so special is the supportive community around the entire school, around the entire city. Everyone wants to see people succeed and do well. And kind of that like expectation for success is super impactful and can do a lot.
Awesome. So now I just asked 3 questions that I ask everybody at the end of the episode. How do you take care of your mental health?
I take care of my mental health first and foremost by prioritizing sleep. There's so much research that shows like how important getting good sleep is. Like I only got 6 hours of sleep last night and I did not get great sleep over the swim travel meet. So that's something that I kind of didn't do so well on. But at the same time, the reason why I didn't get so good sleep was like hanging out with friends. And that's another piece that like comes to benefiting your mental health. So I think it balances out. It's like I don't know. It's worth it sometimes.
Yeah.
But yeah, getting good sleep, hanging out with friends, having fun. Because I mean, if you do that exclusively all 7 days a week, you're going to get burnt out inevitably.
Exactly.
So I think another piece of that is just taking advantage of the weekends too to hang out with friends. Because obviously you're not most days of the week on a school day where you have practice. You're probably not going to have time to hang out with friends after practice, even though you are doing it during practice. So kind of just taking advantage of every moment, understanding that like, I don't know, that life's a roller coaster, I guess, and not letting yourself get too down in the dumps if something goes wrong.
Yeah. I'll say my college friend group, great, awesome people. Every time, every Saturday is Sunday. It's just, everyone's just hanging out. It's such a cool environment to be in. Well, I will say, I might need to show them this part of the episode because some of them did get 2 hours of sleep last night, but why did they fall asleep? Because they were hanging out with friends.
Yeah,
so it's like,
it's worth it.
It's worth it sometimes. Yeah. So, for younger cross country runners, like what advice would you give?
Believe in yourself, work hard. Just understand that like cross country is a challenge. If it were easy, then probably nobody would do it, because what's the point of doing something that's super easy?
Exactly.
And if it's super easy, it's not going to have all the rewarding effects that running does have. But yeah, just show up to practice, work your butt off, race hard, race for the win when you can. But yeah.
Yeah. Last one. This one I shared with Allie, and it was it's a good one. What is a life lesson that the average person can take away from your running career so far?
I guess this is super generic, but believe in yourself. If you don't believe in yourself, you're not going to be able to do anything. Even if you have like internal doubts about what you're going to be able to do, you just need to understand that like you can do whatever you want to do, and in one way or another. You're not going to be able to control other people, but you can give it your all. You can perform as good as you possibly can, with just like super positive thoughts and like believing that you have it within you to do what you can do.
Awesome. Thanks for coming on, Sean.
Yeah, thank you so much for having me.
Yeah. Honestly, Sean's one of the most genuine people out there, and it was just super fun, not just recording the episode, but also just catching up with him while we were prepping and cleaning up off camera. But what did we learn in the episode today? Now, the first thing, I don't know if this actually counts as learning because I kind of knew it already, but I'll say that I gained a greater appreciation from my high school team and the team culture. Whether it's just camp or stupid, just unorganized memories hanging out with the people on the team. I think the captains did such a great job in fostering that connection where Sean and I both agreed that we knew something about each runner on the team, whether it's JV or varsity. And after recording the episode, I just gained a greater appreciation for the team that built me up. Second, Sean's amazing at just kind of making the best of situations, whether it's missing NXN or not being in the top heat at NON or any other setback he's had. He has this process of going through races where he dives deep into what went wrong, but doesn't really associate, doesn't have a bad race or a good race. It's just what went well during the race and what went wrong during the race, knowing that each race is always somewhere in the middle and it's not 100% good or 100% bad. And just correcting all the bad things and congratulating and celebrating all the good things and doing it in an efficient manner where he's not dwelling on races or taking them personally. And moving on and knowing that there's future races and that one race doesn't define his career or his worth as a person. Finally, Sean is looking at doing engineering and being a student athlete at the same time, which is absolutely nuts and absolutely awesome. But it also comes with the price of time, knowing that those are both, hard majors like engineering and being a student athlete. Now, keeping up on homework and getting sleep aren't very flashy habits like running a workout is, but Those are habits that'll serve him long, long after his running career is over, with his professional career, with academics, and honestly just plain living life with sleep. From the bottom of my heart, thank you so much for listening, and I hope you can take something away from our time together. I encourage you all to share this episode to a friend who would learn something from this conversation. I'm Nate Unger, and this was Sean Fries, Unger the Radar. Now, go be a light to the world.